So this beautiful Friday afternoon, I think I'm going to be doing this more now. We need to do more of talking here and learning also. And so if you are here, you can actually send this to a parent out there. This would really, really, really help a parent out there this afternoon. So I'm going to be sharing or discussing with you what I've called the power of. Oh, did I say prayer? I'm just a praying woman. So I'm going to put the power of observation. I actually put prayer in it. So let me remove that and put it again. The power of observation, one of your greatest. You're smiling, right? Must prayer bring everything? The power of observation, one of your greatest assets. You were wondering also, and you couldn't tell me. One of your greatest assets as a parent. I think it's perfect. Please, Isaac, check if I got this right now. One of the greatest assets as a parent, yes. So I think it's okay now. I'll just pin this, the pin comment. Okay. All right. So I'm going to be sharing the power of observation, one of your greatest assets as a parent. You know, when it comes to parenting, many times people look at what they cannot do. Parents look at their struggle as a parent. They look at the struggle they're having with their children, but they forget that there are some assets they have. And because when your eyes is focused on what you do not have, you will not even see the things you have. In fact, you will feel like you do not even have anything at all. And then parents need to understand that what are your assets? What are those things that you can use that will help your parenting journey? What are those things that you can pay attention to, maximize, and will really help you in your journey? And then today I'm talking about the power of observation. It's simple as like observation. It's not just to observe. As simple as it is, it's very, 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 very vital. I have to stress the very, very because it's really important. And that's simply because when you observe something, so let's take it away from parenting first. Let's bring it to just observing your environment or just observing a person or just observing the way certain things operate. You realize that you learn a lot by observing, sometimes without even asking any question, sometimes without even saying anything. You just learn, you pick a lot of things by just observing, just watching. The same way our children learn a lot from us by observing, like they just see you do something, they do those things because this is the way mommy and daddy does this thing, consciously or unconsciously they pick it and start doing it, right? That's the same way it is for us as parents. It's not every time that we want to do the talking with the child. It's not every time we want to be asking them questions, but sometimes you will ask them questions and they might not answer you. They might not give you the response that you need, or they might just tell you everything is fine, it's okay, nothing. So there are times that you are not even talking, even in your silence, you are observing. And that's one thing that every parent should learn to do, the power of observation. So you look at your child, your children, and you are observing them, observing the way they do things, observing the way the child talks, observing the way the child relates with other siblings, observing the way they relate with cousins or friends, observing the way they interact when they are outside. You know, some children, they are different when they are at home. They can be very playful and lively at home, and the moment they get out, socializing might be a problem and they want to withdraw. So you need to pay attention to all of those things, like how does this child relate at school? Are you the type that maybe when you go for open day and you visit your children's school and then they're telling you your child is very quiet, he's so quiet, and you're like, is this boy is not quiet at home, this boy talks and plays at home. So you need to observe, pay attention to the way they behave, the way they act, the way they do things, the way they interact with people, the way they even relate with you. Are they more friendly with other people? When it comes to you, is it that they withdraw? Just pay attention to all of those details. That's what the observing thing there means. Looking at their actions, looking at how they even interact with their environment. And that way, you are picking a lot, even without speaking to your child. That way, you are picking a lot about your child, even without asking them any question at all. Now, the whole essence of this is I observe, and I can say that, oh, I observe that this, that, and that is not right. I observe that you are a bit timid when you are outside. You don't want to talk to people when you are outside, or you are withdrawn, for instance. Then, thank you, Tofumi, for joining. Then you can say, okay, how do we now help this act of being withdrawn? It is in the place of observation you will know when a child changes. Have you seen case where a child is very lively and jovial, and all of a sudden the child is becoming so withdrawn, and you are wondering, what's happening to this child? Why are you, So many parents, or some parents, might not even notice that their child is withdrawn until maybe something else will come out of that, or maybe they call their attention to it from school. That means you are not observing well. It means you are not paying attention to them. Are you getting it that way? Yes. So then you now observe to see what's wrong. There's a change. Why is, or maybe it could even be the child's academic performance. If you're not paying attention, you won't even know when there is a drop until when it now becomes something drastic. That's when it's not like, this is serious, what happened? But it was not drastic, it's gradual. So a little change, a little observation, that's where we quickly step in as parents to help. So observing your child as he or she engages in different settings, as they interact with people, sometimes it could even be that the child might be very strong-willed. Then you are thinking, how do we help this type of child? Or it might be that maybe the child it cannot tolerate people. Maybe any slightest thing, the child is just all over, like I can't cope, I can't do it, or maybe deals harshly with the siblings. So when you pay attention to all of those things, you are able to help your child. But if you don't understand that power that you have, that you can observe and notice a challenge, and notice a negative behavior, and notice a struggle with your child, you will just realize that something will just happen and it will look like it happened in one day. Many of the struggles children have today, or many of the challenges they have, it's not a one day thing that it just happened today. It's a gradual build up, simply because nobody paid attention or nobody saw what was really happening with that child at the time. Now, another thing that the power of observation can do for you as a parent is you are also able to spot the strength of your children. I'm going to talk about the strength first, because when I talk with parents, it's been over 10 years of working with teenagers. And when I talk with parents, the first thing they are quick to tell me about their children is their struggles, their weaknesses. Oh, my child is not good at this. He doesn't like this. He's too lazy. He's not responsible. Is that? And they forget the place of the strength, because everybody would struggle with one weakness or the other, but we also all have our strengths. So when you're observing your child, you can identify your child's strength. And when you identify the strength, what do? You can help improve on the strength. Have you ever, for once, told your child that I see that you are very good with writing? You have a good writing skills, and this is something I must commend. It's very good. I want to encourage you to write more. Maybe you get them books to read, or give them journals or something to write more. Do you know how that child will feel at that moment? Like, wow, so mommy knows or daddy noticed this. Okay, so they really like this thing. That child will feel like, good, I think I can do more. The strength to do more is pumped. So we are not just focusing on the weakness, but even the strength. Observing your child will make you pick out the strength. Sometimes some children do certain things that they don't even see it as a strength, because they don't even understand that this is my strength, or this is my. They don't even know. So when you point the child to that, I observe that you draw so well. This is beautiful. You can buy the child drawing pens, drawing books, sheets, and all. Just or enroll the child. I want you to develop this more. There's somebody that does this training on drawing and all and all. That child feels, wow, my parents are really paying attention to me. Oh yes, so my parents really understand what this means. Do you understand? So that way you can help them develop their strength. We can celebrate their strength because we are observing. In a case where a child has been very good at a particular thing, and all of a sudden the child is now struggling, it is observing as a parent that will make you see that, why? You used to be good in writing, used to be very good with drawing, used to be very good with public speaking. What happened to, what now happened to you? What's the challenge? And then your child can now open up to say, okay, this is what I'm thinking. Okay, I just feel like I'm having these challenges and it's making me lose interest in the things that I really love to do. Now, when you also observe, it helps you to also identify the weakness of your children. And then so you can spot that this child is struggling, this child is shy. It is when you observe your children that you can spot that. I noticed that this child is very vocal at home, but when the child is in school or public place, the child doesn't want to talk, just want to keep to. And you know that that's not so good because you have to teach children how to socialize. They must be able to relate with people and all. So you know that I need to start working in that area. Whether you need to get the child to speak with a mentor, see a counselor, or whether there are things you need to do on your own. So you need to understand that power, and we must learn to use the power we have, the power of observation as a parent, observing our children from time to time. Like I'm saying that it's not even like you're going to say, yes, I want to observe my child, so let me start watching you like this. No, it's not like that. It's just part of you that you are paying attention to them. You know, there's something I always say that you can be physically present and still not be present. So it's not just that you are physically there with your children in their house. It's not just that alone. You must be there, like you are present and you are present. Like you can actually see what is happening. You can actually notice when there is a change. You can actually notice when there is a struggle, and we are able to help them that way. So observing also helps you to, point out their struggles. A child might be struggling with something. Like the child might know that I really want to do better, but this is a struggle for me. It is observation that will make you know that okay, this is what we are going to do. Then you can sit to your child and have conversation. See, your children would appreciate it when you help them by coming from the part of you have seen the challenge, you have thought it through as a parent, then you are sitting down and having conversation with that child about the challenge. Not that you just point it to them. You are very lazy, so laid back. You are very irresponsible. That way, that child feels judged, that child feels condemned, and that child feels, yes, they've labeled me, so yeah, let me just carry the name like that. I'm lazy. And the child will continue with the laziness, or I'm laid back. When a child is laid back, all of these things come as a result of their temperament. If you have a phlegmatic child, a child who is dominantly phlegmatic, that child will be laid back. You will have to do a lot of motivation to get that child to do things. So if you don't understand the child, there's no how you can even provide solution. You will just be labeling and you know that labeling is not good. These are things that birth adulthood and trauma in adulthood for children. When they now become adults, there's so much trauma that has happened because of the way they were treated as a child. So you are going to them on the part of, oh, thank you so much, Pastor Joe. Thank you for joining. So you are able to help your children on the part of identifying their struggles, their weaknesses, because you are observing, because you are maximizing your power to observe them, and then you can now provide solution. Some people would observe, when they now spot the problem, they don't do anything about it again. They leave it like, well, that's your case. Keep handling it, or whatever you like, whatever comes out of it, that's your luck. No, that's not the way to play our role well as parents. So we help. So in the place of helping them, it's that you want to get the child a mentor, it's that you want to get the child to speak with a counselor, or there are things that you as a parent can actually do, because sometimes some struggles children have is because maybe there are no home rules. If there are no home rules, children will struggle with things. So when a parent comes to me to say that my child is struggling academically, the first thing I want to ask is, does the child have time to even read at home? Does the child read? Because sometimes when people say this child is dull, this child is slow, I'm thinking, have we really looked at this child so well that is the child always on TV? If it's a child that is always on TV, on tablet, on phone, on video games and all, there's no how the academic performance will be good. So if you as a parent, you are not observing all of those things, there's no how you can even help or even know what to do. So let's maximize that power. And we can also identify their talent. When you're observing, you identify their talent. Sometimes they might not know that they are skillful or good with a particular thing. But when you call their attention to it, I notice that you do these things so well. You are so organized. You are so, when I tell you arrange my shelf, you do it neatly and nicely. You are pointing them to that you can do this thing well, so you can do it better. Pay attention to it. So we don't want to raise children that, even for themselves, all of their focus will be on what I'm not good at. Oh, all of their focus will be on, I'm not good at this. Oh, I'm lazy. Oh, I'm so disorganized. Oh, I have anger issues. So the child carries that burden, wear that badge, and then that child feels that way too about themselves. But that's not what you want to do. You don't want your child seeing only the bad side of himself. You want your child to be able to see the good things about themselves, because we all have the good and the bad. So we all have our strengths and our weaknesses. So I want, and then another thing that can actually help you as a parent too is, sometimes when you take your children for programs, sometimes when children attend maybe boot camps, leadership trainings, teens conference, seminars, and all that, they hear these things, and the fact that they are not hearing it from you, they are hearing it from someone else, it just seems more. Sometimes it's not even that what they are going to say to your child, it might not be different from what you have been saying, but it is easy for your child to hear from somebody else, and the child just feels like, oh, I think I get it now. Oh, this is what mommy is trying to say to me, or this is what daddy is trying to say to me. I think I get it now. Sometimes, because they are your children and because they can predict you, they can predict your answer or your response to things. So they just automatically just feel that, I know what mommy is going to say about this matter. Or when you are correcting them, but they just feel that mommy has come again, daddy has come again, they are already correcting me again. They just feel that way. However, it's you now getting that child to speak with their mentor. It just makes the child feel okay. Somebody else who doesn't know me, who is not judging me, who is not going to use this against me, is telling me this. So the child, embraces it that way. So sometimes, let's also embrace the pace of training, boot camps, buying them books. Let them read books. There are times that they read a book and they decide that, oh, it can help. So that thing you are trying to correct the child, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. It could be written in the middle page of a book, and the child reads it and feels, and the child is convicted that, it's true, I will stop doing this, and the child will stop. So let's observe. If we can't observe, we cannot help. So if you say you want to raise a wholesome child, I want to raise a child that will be wholesome, healthy, a good child as it is, you must be able to maximize the power that you have, which is observation. Yes, there are other powers we can use, but observation is powerful. That you pay attention to the little details. That you pick your child from school and the facial expression is looking down, like you can quickly say what happened. And the child can say, oh, something happened at school. Someone lied against me and I didn't do it and I was badly punished for it. And that way you can quickly step in as a parent. So that child doesn't carry that in the head and say, oh, they now think that I'm a thief. Meanwhile, I did not steal the money. It could be a scenario like that. So observation. It could even be in the case of abuse. Maybe a child is verbally abused or sexually abused. The child might not open up to you immediately, but you can quickly observe that this child is withdrawn. This child is not talking to anybody. Just that observation, you quickly draw the child closer. What's happening? So when you observe and you notice, you're not just going there to go and shout and say, you have started. You have changed. You used to be a good boy. Now you're not a bad child. When you do that, even if the child has something the child wants to open up, the child will not talk. So but you are coming closer to the child that I observe this. Do you mind sharing with me? What happened? Why are you dragging to do this? Why are you not playing with anybody? You've not been eating well lately. What's the problem? But I'm like, oh, I've been having stomach cramp. And stomach cramp, I didn't tell anybody. Sometimes these children might just feel that, especially when they are growing into teenagers, they might just feel that I can handle it myself. I'm a big boy. You see 13-year-old, 14-year-old just feel, I'm a big boy. I can handle this. I don't need to call mommy. I have stomach pain. I would chest it and drink myself. Meanwhile, they just need to carry you along as a parent and then they get treated and all that. But we need to understand that we have to observe. So that's a power that we have. And it's a great asset as parents. Observe your children. You have 3 children, 4 children. Observe them. I always say that parenting is hard work. It's hard work. You might feel like, how do I start observing, paying attention? You have to. That's the role we've been assigned to as a parent. And if you want to do it well and raise awesome children, we need to pay attention to every detail. Pay attention to everything. Even when you're having conversation with them, you are checking body language. You can be in the kitchen doing the dishes. And then you are talking and you just mention somebody's name. The child just cringes or just gives one kind of, you want to know, why do you feel this way about this person? Is there any problem between you and this person? Then you can quickly step in. You can quickly step in. That is the whole idea. And I want to believe this has been helpful. I don't know if I have any question. If you have any question, you can drop it in the comment. I would respond to it. And while I'm waiting for questions, I want to also mention that there is the Visionary Teams course is coming up April. I'm excited about this course because it's a 4 days virtual program that gives me the opportunity to nurture and mentor young minds. And I know that because of what we have prepared, the courses we have prepared, what we'll be teaching them, I'm so certain that every participant will go back and be a better person. Will go back and it will fix those struggles, those challenges, those issues that you have been like as a parent feeling that how do I help this child? It will really help fix it for them. One of the things we do when we create courses is not, we are not going to spoon feed them. We are going to tell them this is it. This is your struggle. This is the solution. Now we begin to merge it together and we fix it together. Emmanuel Yeku, it's been years. Thank you for joining. I haven't seen or heard from you in years. It's nice seeing you here. So you can actually pay attention and help your children that way. Like I always say to parents, and I'm going to stress it again here, you can't be the only one helping your child. You can't be the only one talking to your child. You can't be the only one teaching your child. You can't be the only one doing everything for your child. It will get to a point they can just feel like, I need to hear somebody else. I feel it's the same thing, and it might not be the same thing because sometimes as parents you might not even know the right approach to doing things. You might not know the right approach. That's why there's the counselors, there are mentors, there are team coaches that you need. So the registration is on for the Visionary Teams course, and we're going to be teaching them. It's 4 days. We're going to be teaching them how to finding you. We're talking how to lead intentionally. We're going to be teaching sexual purity, how to build intimacy with God. Because when you look at teenagers, when they do some things, you are wondering, it's like you people think you have another life that you kept somewhere. So we need to let them understand that you have this one life and then you must make the most of it. So they will not automatically make the most of it. They will be taught and guided. So when we teach, yes, that's the place of mentoring now comes from guiding them, and then we keep restating what we have stated before. And then sometimes they would even have their questions, individual questions and all. And that way we are really, really able to help them. So I would encourage parents to please register your children for the course. It's 12,500 for 4 days. I think that's very, very affordable. I think that's very affordable. And the early bird registration will be closing on the 20th of March. So I think we have about 2 or 3 weeks thereabouts till then. So please make the most of the early bird fee. After the 20th of March, the fee will be 15,000 naira then. If you have 2, 3 children registered, and let them learn. Let them mix up with other things. It's virtual, so you can be anywhere. And the class will be starting 6 p.m. West African time. So anywhere you are in the world, you can join us and let your children learn. They have access to they can ask questions that they can't ask you. They will be able to ask me and every other person that will be handling each session and each day. And it's going to be a great time. So if you'd like to register your children for it, I'm going to leave a number in the caption. You can actually send a message to that number or call the number. All of the details for registration will be given to you. It's going to be a great time, and I want to believe you have learned something here today, parents. So from today, go back and maximize, make good use of the power you have, which is the power of observation. Observe your children and help them. I can't see any question here yet. Okay, I think I did a good job that way since there are no questions. So thank you so much for joining today's live session, and I'll be live again next week Friday. But I can even come live before then, so it's fine. But just stay connected to my page. There's so much you need to learn from this. And please do me a favor, kindly share this live video with friends, share with people, and then tell them also about the Teams program. All right. So thank you all for joining me. I'll see you in my next live video. Bye.